What is up, my friends? Welcome to season 3 of the Next Step podcast. I am your host, Allison Lee Simmons, and y'all, this season has been a long time coming. Like, I thought maybe in August I would get it out. Didn't happen. Then maybe September. We're looking maybe end of September-ish is when we're going to be launching this podcast. But here's the deal. I have a good reason for the delay of season 3. My business took off, y'all. Like all the things, the last 6 months have been incredible for growth. I'm super excited. And you're going to hear all about that in the next episode of this season, because I actually got an opportunity to do a live with my business coach in her Facebook group. And she has been kind enough to actually give me that live so that I can share it on my podcast. So you'll get to hear that in the next episode. But I also didn't know what I wanted season 3 to look like. Okay, like season 1 was like a hodgepodge. I was just figuring it out, right? Season 2 was all expert interviews, and it wasn't intended to be that way, but it just happened that way because so many people wanted to be on the podcast. Like I kind of started doing interviews with people here and there, and then others heard the episodes or heard that I did interviews, and then were like, oh, hey, could I be on it? And I interviewed a lot of amazing women and a couple of guys, but amazing women. And I actually hired a couple of them after interviewing them because I was like, dude, they're awesome, right? So I didn't know what I wanted season 3 to look like. So, I wanted to start, but I wanted to do a good job because here's the thing. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. Like that is my motto. And so it took me a little bit of time, but then I started to get really excited for a few reasons, and I'll get to those a little bit later. But I want to back up real quick. And yes, you're going to get more details about how my business actually looked the last 6 months. But I want to just tell you, how did I get my business to take off? I want to give you the 4 things that I did that took me from making $2,500 a month, not really doing what I wanted to do, to $10,000 a month, working with 4 amazing clients that are completely aligned with the services that I provide, and they value what I do and what I bring to the table. Okay. So number 1, I set a goal, right? Not just for income, but also for the number of clients. I wanted to get to 10K months without increasing the number of people I was working with. So I had 4 clients back in February, March, right? I wanted to still have 4 clients 6 months later, but I want to be making 4 times as much money. So I did set a goal for clients and income. Number 2, I adjusted my offer, y'all, because back then I was offering services as an OBM, an online business manager, right? And let's just face it, in the world, the online business space, people associate OBMs with overpaid VAs, right? That's really how they see us. A VA gets $20 an hour. Well, an OBM is charging 60 or 70, but really doesn't bring much more to the table. That is not true, but that is the stigma that I discovered goes with being an OBM. And so after having a lot of conversations with my coach and with my ideal clients, I landed on the title Business Manager and Strategy Implementer. And then I created an offer where I basically created a 4-step client success journey that took them through business management, strategy, and implementation. Y'all, as soon as I really understood what it is that I wanted to do, what my superpower was, and then I created an offer around that, people are like, hey, can I work with you? Hey, that sounds amazing. Hey, I've never heard that before. Right. So like, I'm still kind of an OBM. Like that's like my core, if you will, but I took it to another level, both my offer and my title. Now, because of that, of course, I tweaked my messaging, right? That was a really big deal. So I adjusted my offer, and then all of my messaging changed after that. And some of it came directly from, and I'll share this in a little bit here, but like some of the things that I now call myself and say that I do, and the results people get with me are directly from things my clients have told me they've gotten from me, which is really kind of funny. And then finally, the last thing, number 4, tons and tons of coffee chats, tons and tons of networking. Listen, y'all, if you have a high ticket offer, the best way to get the ball rolling is to talk to people about the offer. Now, in the beginning, in those first several months, people didn't understand what the heck I was doing because I didn't really understand what I was doing, right? I was still adjusting the offer. I was still tweaking my messaging. But the more and more and more people I talked to about it, the clearer I got because I saw that look on their face and I was like, ask me questions. What did I say that you didn't understand? And I was able to get more clear. And so that made a big difference. And then those coffee chats, which literally started off as nothing more than just chatting with people and sort of clarifying my own message to people being like, hey, can we talk about you helping me? Or I don't need you, but I know someone who does. Can I introduce you? And so that's how the business actually really took off. So those 4 things. I set goals for both my number of clients and my income. I adjusted my offer. I tweaked my messaging. And then I freaking talked about it to actual human beings, not just posting on social media, right? I talked to actual human beings. So what happened? What happened from that, right? I just told you I hit 10K, my first 10K month. I was super excited. Y'all, I've officially become my own best client or my own ideal client, I should say, not my best. I become my own ideal client because my business has become successful enough that I now feel like I've started to lose control of things, right? I'm bogged down in the daily tasks and I'm not really sure what the next step is. Like, what's the strategy I want to scale with next? I'm kind of cracking up because a lot of times people start a service-based business based on something that they've already been through. Like a lot of coaches, they've overcome a challenge, they've been through it, and now they're on the other side of it and they want to coach people through it. Or service providers, similarly, they grew their business doing something and then they're like, oh, now I'm going to teach others how to do it, or I'm going to do it for them. Nope, it's not me. My skills as a business manager just come from the fact that I'm a very analytical person and I think in terms of flows and equations and processes. And then the strategy, I'm just creative, y'all. Like it's not something that I actually, well, I did do it for a while on my own on a blog and a podcast years ago. But the point is that it wasn't necessarily something I overcame. So like here I am, I've grown this business and I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally am my own ideal client. And so I had to think about the success path that I mentioned to you just a minute ago that I give to my clients and that I walk them through when I was like, well, Allison, why don't you apply that to yourself? Like, duh, right? So what is the success path that I am now applying to my own business that I take my clients through? Well, the first year of business, you're establishing your business, right? That's it. You're establishing who you are, who do you serve, how do you serve them? But after that, you scale your business, right? So what comes after you've established? What services do you want to double down on? Do you want to raise your prices? Are you going to have a new offer, right? So we scale. So we establish our business, we scale our business, and then we optimize our business, right? We refine our marketing. We get really tight on that client journey experience. We make it white glove. And then we sustain, right? So we've established our business the first year. We've scaled our business to meet our goals. We've optimized our business to get it really churning. And then it's like, y'all gotta take time to sustain, which is where most clients come to me because they have established, they have scaled, they have optimized, and now they're so successful that they cannot sustain on their own. That is when they're like, girl, I need your help. That is where I am now. I am in the sustaining section. So what does sustaining mean? Well, it's creating systems for your business operations, right? It's creating a system for continual lead gen, because even though I am maxed out with the number of clients I can have, y'all, clients don't stay forever. I've learned that in my first year, okay? And then obviously the client service. How much of my client delivery service can I systematize? Not unpersonalize, but systematize, right? So I'm going to go through the sustain, scale, optimize triangle or circle, whatever you want to call it, in a future episode a little bit more clearly and definitively. But that's the success path that I take my clients through, is this idea of they've already established, right? But they have scaled, they've optimized, and now they need to sustain so that we can scale again and then optimize again and then sustain again. And we're going through this circular motion. So here's the funny part. Because people come to me when they're ready to sustain, I have one client in particular. It's a partnership, this couple, and they joke about me being their boss. And they both work, they both have other jobs, and the business that they're currently running that I'm helping them with is, I don't want to call it a side hustle because it's not a side hustle, but like it's their secondary business. And the joke is that I'm their boss, right? And then they have their other boss, their second boss, who's their real boss at their other job. And so it's become this real joke because every time I'm like, hey, did you make that phone call? Hey, did you follow up with that person? Hey, the email is waiting for you to review before I can send all those things. They're like, yes, boss. Yes, boss. And it became this joke. And I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm the entrepreneur's boss, right? Because what happens to every entrepreneur when they've scaled their business to a point of, I'm starting to lose control. Things are falling through the cracks. My creative energy has been sucked out of me because I'm so bogged down with everything else. I can't even think straight, right? Or they're running on a hamster wheel. And no matter how fast they run, they never actually get anywhere. They realize that being their own boss kind of sucks, right? It kind of sucks. And so that's where I come in. I'm the entrepreneur's boss, and I help them sustain this amazing, successful business they've built so that we can scale it, optimize it. So how do I do that, right? What am I doing for these people that I am their boss? Well, number one, I stay on top of things, right? I stay on top of things in their business, what other people need to be doing, whether or not they have contractors, whether or not they have team members. I stay on top of people, right? I make sure projects are getting completed. I make sure the needle is moving forward and they're not on that hamster wheel anymore. And then finally, I mean, those are the business operation side, but y'all, I'm a thought partner, right? I'm a thought partner that many entrepreneurs are desperately in need of because their great ideas get them so far. But then y'all can relate to this. I bet every business owner can. They've got a bazillion ideas and they don't know which one is the right one to go next. Like, which do I pursue now? And so I come in as a thought partner that they can bounce ideas off of. And then I also bring new ideas to the table, right? Like, have you thought of this? We can try this. And then finally, and probably most importantly, I shoot down the ideas that suck. Because let's face it, not every idea is a good one, right? Sometimes we can bounce them around and refine them and they can get better. And some of them just suck. And I'm sort of that voice of reason that's like, okay, based on your goals that we set, this idea sucks. Table it or just throw it away. So all of those things, y'all, that I do for others, I'm like, Allison, you have become your own ideal client. It is time to be your own boss better, right? Like, you're the entrepreneur's boss for everyone else. You got to be a better boss to yourself. And so that is what season 3, to bring this all back around, that is what season 3 is going to be all about. How can you be your own boss better? And so what am I going to do to help you with that as I help myself with that? Well, for one, I'm going to be back doing solo episodes, right? Where I'm going to share practical business management practices that you can be applying in your business on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, because we all need the practical tools, y'all. Okay. I'm also going to be sharing my own business growth experiences that I'm sure you can relate to, right? And then how I'm handling them so that maybe you can handle them better than me even, right? But we're going to do that kind of business growth experience, relatability stuff. And then finally, I'm going to be sharing business growth strategies that I am using for myself and for my clients to scale it to the next level. So that's solo episodes. Now I am going to be doing some interviews, but I'm going to interview my people, right? My business coach, my VA. Y'all want to talk to her, right? My clients. Y'all want to hear what they're saying about working with me? This is the opportunity. Season 3 is going to be all about how I am becoming my own boss better so that you can become your own boss better. So if that sounds great, like if you're like, oh my gosh, Allison, I'm in. I want you to subscribe, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. You need to subscribe so you don't miss episodes. And then finally, if you want to get a jump on being your own boss better, I want you to head to the resources page on my website, because here's what you're going to find when you get there. Number 1, the business management toolkit. I literally give you all of the tools that I use to manage my business and my client's business. The software, there's some affiliate links in there, but a lot of it's free. Like, you just sign up for the software. So head there, business management toolkit. The second thing on there is my favorite expert interviews from season 1 and 2. So just some of the favorites that you can go back and listen to and be like, these are people that I've actually decided to work with. So you can go listen to those episodes. They're all listed there for you. The third thing is that I actually created 4 free downloads that are going to help you take practical action depending on your current stage of business. Are you still in the established phase? I got something for you. Are you in the sustain stage? I got something for you. Are you scaling? I got something for you. Are you optimizing? Y'all, shocker, I got something for you. Okay. So I want you to head over there and get those downloads. And then my favorite business books, y'all, I am an avid reader. I am constantly reading something. So I shared the business books that I have read that have made the biggest impact for me. And then finally, I threw out the quiz that I had before and I created a brand new business management assessment tool that's going to literally give you direct feedback. Every time you answer a question about your business, I give you instant feedback as to the next step you can take with that challenge or struggle. Okay. So it's not like a, hey, take this and put in your email and then I'll send you. No. Yo, go take it. Okay. You answer the question. I ask the question. You answer it. I give you immediate feedback. This is going to help you move the needle in your business right now. It is the steps you can take right now. Okay. So that is all that I have for you. Season 3 is officially launched. Next episode is going to be my interview with my coach inside her Facebook group. I'm going to tell you all the nitty-gritty details about what's been happening in the last 6-7 months of my business and how I grew it, scaled it, the pitfalls, all the things. And then we're going to move on from there with all the other things that I just shared with you. So head to the business resources page on my website. Go ahead and start being your own boss better today.